What measures has Chivas taken regarding the current situation in Guadalajara? We are going to talk about that topic, and we'll also review Mateo Chávez, who provided an assist yesterday ahead of the match against Toluca. Anyway, stay here with me. We have a lot of information, and watch the video until the end. I'm Jesus Bernal, and I thank all of you for your attention. Thank you very much for being here with me to talk about the latest updates regarding the Chivas team. So without further ado, let's start this video with the latest news about the Chivas. Well, the people from Chivas obviously have to be in coordination and in contact with the government authorities of Jalisco, Guadalajara, and Zapopan. For now, at least at the time of recording this video, the red code is still in effect. However, activities are gradually being resumed. There is already some public transportation, and there is starting to be much more movement on the streets. Also, the schools decided not to open today, from kindergarten to university. No one, what else? Some convenience stores, Walmart, decided not to open, and some banks decided not to open. So, things are still kind of intermittent, right? But in the case of Chivas, they've decided to work as usual, except for a few who might have to stop. The league goes on, right? The league goes on, the league continues, so it's hard to just decide to stop everything, it seems. And there's a sense that the risk, compared to what we saw yesterday, has decreased. And the decision is to train this afternoon. That's the decision, the determination that the Guadalajara team has reached, at least for now. At least for now. I don't know if it could change, because that's how it is. Sometimes decisions and determinations can be made. For now, that's the situation. Chivas continues as usual, will work as usual, will have a normal week, even without their national team players. We have to remember yesterday there was a lot of anxiety about what would happen with them, whether they would play or not play in Querétaro. It seems like they're focused over there, they're training over there. And well, Gabby Melito will obviously call up players from the youth teams so they can complete the training. But that's the decision as far as it goes. Well, that's how it is. That's how this industry works. The show goes on, they keep moving forward. And they're going to work. In a way, they're safe. They have their private security. They're in Verde Valle. They're entrenched, walled in. There's not, let's say, a big problem training there, inside. Most of them live near the club facilities. So that's the decision they've made. For now, they're trying to keep things normal, obviously with some precautionary measures, I suppose. But this doesn't stop, and they have to keep moving forward. Total normality at Chivas. Yesterday, Mateo Chávez delivered an assist. He played with his team, Alkmaar Zaanstreek Alkmaar, in the Eredivisie, in the match where they won 3-1 against Sparta Rotterdam. That was the match, with Alkmaar Zaanstreek Alkmaar's victory, who are in 5th place in the overall standings, fighting for European spots. And in this match, the Mexican footballer Mateo Chávez had the opportunity, he got to play, he started the game, and ended up being substituted. Mateo, but he provided an assist. And that's important, right? That's important. In fact, the assist was with his right foot. I can't show the video for obvious reasons, but the play comes down the left side, he links up with a teammate. It looks like he's going to cross with his left foot, but he cuts inside, gets it on his right foot, and makes a sort of, well, it's not really a shot cross because it's not a powerful shot. He sends a diagonal ball in with his right foot so the goal can be scored. And that's how Mateo Chávez contributed to his team's victory, 3-1. So, congratulations to the Mexican, who did well to assist and is also fighting hard to earn a spot in the World Cup. Chivas' next opponent is called Toluca. The Guadalajara team will face the Diablos Rojos in this Liga Mexico, a squad we know is one of the most dangerous in Mexican soccer, which just this past weekend crushed Necaxa 3-0. Kinda misleading, huh? Kinda misleading, because everything happened at the end. I mean, yes, they were winning the match, but the last goals came at the end of the game. At the 79th minute, Paulinho, at the 83rd, Paulinho again, and at the 94th, Federico Pereira were the ones who scored the goals. Necaxa lacked finishing, they had 5 shots on target, Toluca had 6 and scored 3. So that tells us a lot about the strength this team has. So Guadalajara will start working this week accordingly to prepare for that match and try to get back to winning ways. Which obviously won't be easy, but I think Chivas has what it takes to put up a fight and try to win that match. How does the overall standings look after 7 rounds, now that Chivas no longer has a perfect record? I'll show you next so you have a clearer reference of how things stand. For the weekend, Guadalajara appears as the leader with 18 points, followed by Cruz Azul with 16 and Pumas, who have 15. In fact, Pumas is one of the undefeated teams in this tournament, just like Toluca, who also have 15. The thing with these two is that they've tied 3 matches, but they haven't lost, so that's why they're there with 15 points. That's why Chivas' lead is at risk this round. They could even drop to 4th place if they lose the match. Hopefully not. Hopefully they win and climb back up. With 21 points, Pachuca is 5th, Atlas 6th, America 7th, and Tigres 8th. Today, Monterrey would be out of the qualification zone. That's how things stand right now in the general standings. And in the Mikel Arriola table, the one that gives out $1 million, how is Guadalajara doing? I'll show you that as well. How is the overall yearly table going? Chivas held on to 3rd place, but there's a gap opening up again between Cruz Azul and Toluca. Here we can see it. Toluca has 52 points, Cruz Azul 51, and Chivas 47. I mean, last week they were 2 points behind Toluca, but now Toluca has pulled ahead by 5. The standings are getting complicated again. Mikel Arriola aims to win the $1 million, although obviously if Chivas beats Toluca next week, they'll cut that gap back down to 2. It's important because it gives you $1 million, the team that earned the most points in the league, so I imagine that Guadalajara will, of course, want to win this title. The scoring table, well, what does the scoring table say? Where is Armando the Ant Gonzalez? Unfortunately, Paulinho is also still scoring, and right now the San Luis forward has reached 7 goals. He now has 7 goals, while Hormiga holds 2nd place but stayed at 5, and Paulinho is right behind with 4. The Portuguese player is increasing the pressure, kicking off the race for top scorer. Did he score in this tournament? It's getting interesting. Hormiga will have to recover and score goals to catch up again, because right now he's 2 behind. And finally, I just want to remind all of you that the Guadalajara team will face Toluca this weekend. The match is scheduled for 5 in the afternoon, Central Mexico time. It's going to be early, next Saturday at 5 in the afternoon. You can watch it on Television Azteca. I think it's being broadcast in Mexican territory. For the United States and Canada, it will be 6 in the evening Eastern time, 3 in the afternoon Pacific time, and you'll be able to enjoy it through the Televisa Univision Deportes network platforms. All right, we'll leave this video here. Thank you very much for your attention. Keep subscribing, commenting, sharing, and liking, and I'll see you next time. I'm Jesus Bernal. Goodbye.